Mercelline Kagelitsa, and I welcome you to OS Digital TV. This is a platform, another episode of Youths on the Wheels, and I'm grateful to God because it's been a while since we did this. Yeah, it's been a while, but now we are coming again in another episode of Youth and Church Ministry. Before, we have been discussing about youth and leadership, and we had so many young people who are here talking about leadership, and today we are on Youth and Church Ministry. And I'm grateful to God also because I have a friend of mine, a very good friend, and she is a worshiper. She is a praise and worship team leader, and she's Betty. Yeah, Betty, welcome.
Thank you.
Yep. So she will tell you. Will have to tell us who you are, your name, because for me I know you as Betty, but maybe you're not just Betty. So tell us, who is Betty?
First of all, I'm Elizabeth. Betty derived from Elizabeth. I'm saved. I'm 24 years old. And actually, I'm single. Still searching. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, you're single and you're still searching. So I believe those who are there have had it. And so, you know, it's a blessing to have a young person who is at least at the age of 20 to 24, 25, 26 who is serving God. Because there's a pastor who was saying actually that we have a generation of many young people who are not in ministry, of many young people who are just in church and they're doing nothing.
Yeah.
So, but you know, for me, I know you are a worshiper. I know you are singing. You are a singer because I've seen you ministering. But I don't know if you do something else apart from singing.
In church, apart from singing, I do teach. But not in bigger platforms. I usually teach my fellow youths when I get a chance to. We have this forum of empowerment whereby we get to talk out what actually keep us moving as youths. So as for now, I can say I'm still a growing teacher.
Yeah, that's great. Today we are discussing on being a worshiper as a young person. We will not dwell on teaching or any other thing, but we're going to talk about praise and worship and being a worshiper as a young person. How has been the experience of being a worshiper?
So far, so good. Being a worshiper, in my point of view, it creates an awareness spiritually. It creates an awareness emotionally, and with the experience I've gained so far, I've learned that worship comes from within. Yeah, it is something that when you do it out of, first of all, I do worship out of passion. I do worship out of calling. So it is something that when I do, or when I get a chance to worship, I feel complete. Yeah. So
that was the question I was going to ask. If it's a passion, how did you know, or how did you discover that you can sing? Was it something from childhood, or maybe you came to church and then you were saved and then you were like, what will I do?
Yeah, so how I came to discover that I can sing, singing has been part of me ever since. And to be precise, I majorly started dwelling on singing when I was 12 years old. Yeah, so we were doing all these singing in school, singing in church, but I wasn't into that deep into it, like I wasn't serious with it. So I discovered it when one of the Sundays I just came up and I decided, let me try this. It was not out of calling, by the way. It was out of, I just want to try. So after trying it out, people were like, oh, you have a nice voice. I believe you can do this. So I went and prayed about it, and I asked God to actually give me that opportunity. Because many people out here sing because they have that voice.
Yeah.
But they fail to understand that you can be having the voice, but when you don't have that call, it is something, it will be like a performance. So I prayed for a deeper understanding of worshiping and praising, and eventually I got to understand, and that is how I got it.
Okay, you know, so many young people are in church. Some are not in church, some are in church. We pray for those who are not in church. May God be able to touch their lives so that they can come to Christ. Yeah, but now you are a youth and you are in church and you are doing nothing. You know, most of the young people, I've met some young people, a lot of them, and they're telling me that, oh, I can't sing, I can't clean even the church, I can't do anything. Like, I can't just do anything because I don't believe I have that talent. You know, they call it a talent. Some say they fear. And for you, you've said that you came to church and you said, let me try. So there's a step that you took.
Yeah.
So I think you can talk to these young people, those who are young and they feel like there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
Do you believe that there's something, hakuna kitu mtu anaweza fanya?
Okay, first of all, we must understand that when we give out ourselves to offer service, especially in church, it is always not in vain. So when you're a youth out there and you think or you feel or you know that you can do anything, or you can find something that you can do, just do it regardless. Because with my experience, I've learned that when you do this, it is always beneficial to oneself. Because you find that when you are rendering out that service to God, your life starts changing automatically. There are some closed doors that starts to open up, not because you are doing it for a prize at the end, but because you gave out yourself to do it, the availability. Okay, there's this saying that we do say that not all of us, okay, it is not that we know, but it is by grace.
Yeah.
So when you just give out yourself that I want to do it, automatically God also watch that this person, my son or my daughter, is here. Even without the ability, he will give you the ability to be able to perform it. So anything that you can be able to do, be it worship, be it cleaning, be it anything that you can do in church, you just do it. Okay,
I found out that praise and worship, there's a lot of many issues that come out of praise and worship. Some say mwingine anasema nimefinyuliwa huko. Some say walinikwaza. I don't know. Some critics when you are worshiping. So as a worshipper, how do you manage all this?
Okay, I think when you do worship as a team, first of all you need to understand. You get to understand the people you are working with or the people you are associating with. So when you get to understand them, you know how to live with them. That will be, it will be helping you to avoid clashes with them. When you get to understand the barriers of this person, the boundaries of this person, you get to coordinate in a positive way. It comes at times whereby you feel like you're oppressed somehow. I think the best way to act on it, you just work as a team. Yeah, maybe if you have something in church that doesn't suit you or doesn't belong to your space, you just talk it out. Yeah, because in everywhere we work, in our workplace, in our home places, there will always be clashes. But when you identify the kind of people that are associated with you, you sit with them, you talk it out, then everything will just be fine.
Wow. So in that way of working with these people, are there some challenges you have encountered in your ministry as a worshipper? Okay, you might be working with them and you got some challenges, and also as an individual, are there any challenges you find worshiping or singing in church?
On my side, the challenges we have, they say in everything that you engage yourself in, you must encounter challenges. So like in the field of worshiping, you find that first of all you might find a team whereby 50% are rebellious, half% are corresponding. So there's that wastage of time when you try to mobilize all of them to get to understand how you want them to work. There's also this part whereby you're mixed up with aging matters. So we are like youths, and then at the field of worship and praise, we are mixed up with people who are a bit older than us. So they may want us to go their way, and we also want them to go our way. So we find that there are clashes here and here. But we thank God because in every kind of clashes, there must be a solution. Yeah, another challenge that I think commonly we face.
Before you go to another challenge, there's something I want to ask you. Most young people say that most of the time they don't want to get into praise and worship because there are so many elderly women there and men who are disturbing them, or maybe they're telling them, "No, you are as a young person, you cannot tell us this, you cannot tell us this." What will you tell those young people?
That's why I started by saying, once you identify the kind of people you work with, so you know how to deal with them, it will be a little bit easier for you. You don't give up. These things are out here, we are being oppressed, we are being pressured. But the moment you realize that you are not doing this for them, you are not doing this for man, you are doing this for the sake of Christ, you just push on. So you just don't give up. You try, and but you don't find a way to maybe pin. You don't just find a way to pin yourself down because maybe you are singing in church and then suddenly you stop, and you're putting it to be a main reason as to why you stop singing. Yeah, you just continue pressing, knowing that at the end of it all, there is a benefit. Because
most of the time, sometimes we dwell on excuses. Oh, I can't do this because of this.
It should not be an excuse.
Okay, other challenge.
The other challenge that came up, we find that many singers want to, issue of being humble. They want to have a higher standard of how, like they want to have a higher standard of how they want people to perceive them. Not knowing they are in the field of worship and praises, being humble is the common or the basic thing that you need to acquire. So you find that you have a very powerful singer who has just rise up against you, amongst you, that is, and immediately she realizes that a church is in need of him or her that bad. He or she starts to have that ego inside him or inside her that they can't do without me. So we get that as time goes by, we get to lose such an important person, because they say once a person like this realizes that the church can't do without them, they start to maybe they won't listen to the pastor anymore. They won't attend all these prayers.
Pride comes in.
Yeah. Like they want to do these things their own way. So this is one challenge that worshippers out here experiences. Like once a person realizes that she's better off than others, and she will want to be seen in the forefront rather than the others. So this will also be creating some issues down the line.
Okay, and oppressing others in church, you not also grow.
Yeah, we want to grow.
Okay, Betty, I have a question. You are a worshipper in your church, and sometimes you go to these other events to worship. Maybe you are invited by a friend, like the other day we invited you and you came. So maybe sometimes it's a challenge to some young people, because you find that maybe you have been invited to a church. You go there, you are needed in your church, and you go maybe to another place. So your church wanabaki there, they don't have anyone there, and this is my position, I need to stand here. Maybe then the other Sunday you are also invited to another one, because when you get this you are that person who is able, God has given you the grace to serve. You get many opportunities. How do you handle all these opportunities? Because sometimes you find you may dwell in going to these opportunities and forget that there is something you have to do also where you serve in your church.
Okay, I believe I believe we were called to expand. We were called to actually generate the gospel through various parts of the world. So that stagnation of being in one church, to me, it's like you won't be giving this person a chance to grow. When this worshiper gets that opportunity to walk around, meeting various worshippers, he will be enlarging his mind. He will be growing. He will be knowing, okay, this is how I should be facing this kind of task. This is how I should be facing this kind of experiences. But when you want this worshipper to stick to one church, it can limit him or her in a way that she or he won't grow. So according to me, I think you need to let this person grow. And this person also needs to understand that the church needs him or her. So I think balancing the equation here matters. You ought to be walking around to areas invited, but with the limitations. Yeah, you give a chance or time for your own church. You also give a chance and time for other activities.
Okay, Betty, you are a vocalist. Sometimes maybe you can be teaching some people to sing, and those people will keep repeating the same mistake. They are off key, they are off beat. You know, there are those things in singing, off key, off beat. How do people manage all these things?
Okay, we believe that practices make perfect. So when we are aroused to a situation like this, we don't just demoralize the effort of this person, nor do we kill their esteem. So there's these sections that we have, not in case we spot any issue like this, we have these sessions whereby we're inviting all the singers. We get to talk to them. We get to make them identify themselves in what perspective. They identify themselves in what is the ability of me doing this thing. How far can I go with this thing? So in the moment we get them to realize that there's this stage you can do it, you reach at this stage, there's this stage you can't, we just empower them. Like we keep pushing them through practices, we keep pushing them through prayers, we keep pushing them through motivating them. Yeah, and we know that eventually no one is perfect.
And for example, were you also in the same situation when you started singing?
Yeah, when I started singing, I had this issue with fear. So I could be, okay, whenever I am alone, I could be singing out of but when I come to a stage, suddenly I'm just off key and
butterflies.
I just can't realize what I'm doing. But then when they helped me actually realize that I can do it, they helped me by pushing, they motivated me, and then I just arose and here I am. So I think that many worshippers out here, they can do better than what they are doing right now. But if we just lower their self-esteem, it will die. But if we keep on pushing them, eventually they will come out.
Okay, is there any daily activity that you do as a worshipper? Maybe I hear some other people saying that, oh, I drink hot water so my voice can be okay or whatever. Do you have some daily practices you do, or you?
Okay, I've been hearing of them also, about the rumors of hot water and stuff. But according to me, okay, personally, it's natural. Yeah, when you are called, it is different from when you're performing. Yeah, you can be getting ready for a performance, but when you are called to do something, it is always just natural. So in as much as I can be adding the hot water and stuff, yeah, I know that it is just a backup, but naturally I can do it. Yeah.
And as a young person, have you ever gotten to a point where we can call it a lowest point in your ministry?
Yeah, my lowest point in my ministry. I think so far so good. I haven't had that lowest experience. I feel like I usually tell myself that in every situation where you feel like God is gracing you, there must be a challenge. So in my lowest moment, I just pray, or I just talk it out to people, and eventually I am okay at the end of it.
So you're blessed. There's no day that you are told that, oh Betty, don't come and sing again because the other Sunday maybe you did this, or the last Sunday you did this, so don't come and sing.
No. Maybe because the people around me are matured enough to understand that no one is perfect. They give you space, they give you time. Yeah.
So you are raised by the right people. And you know there are people out there, by the way. There are people out there, by the way, and they make some people and some young people feel like, I cannot do this. Because you are there, you expect to be welcomed. In fact, my pastor one day told us a challenge that he went through, that he was singing, and then the leader, worship leader, just came and picked the microphone from him. Like, there's nothing you're doing, and you know, in that state you just humble, go back, and you're just there. So these are the things sometimes that make young people feel like, no, I cannot do this, maybe, or get into a point of fear. But I thank God, because you are raised by the right people, and so you're going also to raise others in the right way. Okay, is there anything that you would want to tell the young people who are worshippers in church? Something that can make them empowered and make them keep moving in whatever thing they do.
Once a worshipper, always a worshipper. So long as you discover yourself in the field of worshiping. So any worshipper out there, you just press on. You don't give up, no matter the limitations, no matter the disadvantages that will be arousing. And prayer is a master key. When you pray, you don't just worship because you go, this is a Sunday, so we have to be worshiping. You worship because you want people to feel the presence of God. We worship because you want people to have that encounter. So long as you set yourself that I want to be a worshipper, you keep on praying, you keep on pressing, and I believe God Almighty cannot just leave nor forsake you.
And then there are some people who go through some challenges of, you know, when you are a worshipper or you are a singer, you do it in front of people, in front of men. And you know, people will always look for something that is wrong somewhere, and they will want to correct you, or they want to talk about it. Maybe somebody told me that he or she was in praise and worship team, and then some people said that they have never seen her giving an offering in church, because that time when the praise and worship are singing, that's the time they are giving offering. So others sometimes get out of the pulpit or the altar, they come and give their offering, but they've never seen her giving. So this became a challenge in church, because they say that she's not a giver. So what can you tell these young people? Is it true that praise and worship don't give offering?
To some extent, this might be let me say, a weakness to her in her point of view. But I think the best way to handle this, when you realize, you know, people whom we are ministering to are our eyes. They're the ones to tell us that this way, we're supposed to be going this way. So when we realize they are spotting a certain mistake, it is always good to hear them out. You always respond to the correction. You always respond to what they're telling us. Because let's assume a person like this won't respond, and he or she keeps on with the weakness or the habit that they are quoting out. It will reach a moment whereby when this person wants to minister, or whenever she stands out to sing, the congregation won't be responding to. There won't be that, because they'll be like, how is she doing it when she can't get to talk with us? How does she want us to obey what she wants us to obey, while she can't obey what we are telling him or
Yeah.
her. So I think when you are a worshiper and you are corrected on something that involves the church, you need to be sensitive. You need to be ready to listen.
To listen to
And
corrections.
that is why
and correct.
humility is important. When you're humble, you're ready to be corrected. You're able to be shaped the way the church wants you to.
So it's not a matter of, oh, they said this, they said that, and you're not changing in any.
You
Okay.
need to adjust.
Okay, Betty, are you willing to sing for us a chorus or something? Or maybe because you need to have an instrumentalist here or somebody who is playing an organ, or you will do something for us to just hear what you can.
Okay, maybe a chorus. Wema wako nikiwa wakati wa furaha tu. Wema wako ni kila wakati na kila nyakati. Hata sasa ni mwema, tunapoimba ni mwema. Maana wewe ni mwema, umwema. Wewe ni mwema.
Wow. Hey. Yeah, a voice of a worshiper, by the way. Yeah, and I'm grateful to God that He's using you for this generation. And as a young person, you are impacting lives. So I would like you to encourage a young person outside there, or to just tell something that you feel you want to tell a young person who is in church, or a young person who is not yet born again. Yeah, something that you can tell.
First of all, being saved is the coolest, or let me say, the greatest experience or the greatest joy you ought to experience in your life. So we are proud that we were saved young, and we are also urging you, don't see any hindrance as to why a person should not be saved. In the matter of church members being hypocrite, I think we don't go to church because other people go to church. We don't go to church because it's a Sunday, like I said before. We go to church because we want that connection between, it's a personal thing. You go to church because you want that connection with God.
Yeah.
You don't go to church because your neighbor do, your friends do, or because it's a day of going to church. But the moment you realize that my life and everything about your life and everything about you is Christ, you will be going to church irregardless of the things that are happening there. You just go there, do your thing. When you go there to praise, when you go there to worship, when you go there to perform miracles, you go there to encounter with your healing and deliverance, just go there. But don't look around like my neighbor, because when you start looking at the faults of your neighbor, I believe like 90% of us won't be going to church.
Sure.
So you just go to church because you are obliged to. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm really blessed, and I know that you continue doing what you're doing. Yeah, the grace is my name in Atosha. Yep. Thank you so much also for going with us through this time, through this episode, and I believe that next time we shall also meet again on OS Digital TV, Youths on the Wheels. So keep watching, keep subscribing, keep liking, keep sharing, and all this we are doing to see the glory of God upon the young men and women, young ladies and young people doing that which is of God. So be blessed and have a wonderful time.